am very interested in learning about these. Okay, I want to learn more about this. Jeez, there's a lot of information on here. Okay, I'm just gonna go this. Oh, hey. There's a bunch of information on the other types. I should probably take a look at that too. Alright, interesting. They have a interesting system. Or rules, I guess. Gotta learn rules to understand rules, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, let's get back to it. Each type is referred to by their top two functions. Internal functions are the ones you use in your head. Okay. And external functions are the ones you use to interact with the world around you. Oh man, that's a lot of information. Zoom in a bit so it's easier to read. NFP. Okay, so I'm NEFI. They use it to find patterns and underlying principles, to see future possibilities, construct theories and frameworks. Oh, cool. And to form connections that talk, write, or create to others. Any is what NEFI seem like they have their head in the clouds, constantly having ideas, thoughts, and theories that might not seem like they're totally in sync. Oh, with reality. Interesting. Okay. Well, I guess I have to admit I'm not always in reality. Rest of the functions below are said to serve the any. This means that the any way of doing things gets priority most of the time. It's the FI. Any extroverted intuition. The N is capitalized, guys. The N is capitalized. It is referred to as feeling. FI is not internal emotions, rather values that come from within. Okay. Is a decision making process that makes them very interested, turning their own moral code and what their gut instinct tells them is right, which is often based on how they would like to be treated themselves. It's kind of like the golden rule, isn't it? They tend to be very considerate of others and are likely to be highly aware of how they feel other people see them. It may take time to mull over their own beliefs to make sure, and take quite a bit of time and requires mental solitude, which can make the NEFI seem very introverted. FI generally puts authenticity in high esteem and is repulsed by anything that seems fabricated or shallow to them. Oh my god, that makes a lot of sense. Alright, T, extroverted thinking. NEFI's third function, T, is very logic-oriented way. Problem solving, it is the side of them that naturally looks to find a better solution to a problem, improve the efficiency of the process, or critique and refine what is already in place. NEFIs tend to be balance between this quick, decisive, efficient way of making decisions and the pondering, value-driven decision-making process with their FI. While they prefer to take their time to make decisions, as long as it doesn't go against their values, they can use their TE to make sure. Okay, that's interesting. I think I need to figure out what the denotation of logic is. But anyway, SI, internal sensing, the last function. Because of this, it is inherently not as strong as the other functions. It operates subconsciously for the most part, and I say for the most part a lot, and allows them to store all the interesting knowledge, insights into people they gather in an organized way in their mind for future reference. With SI, first or second, are really good at implementation. Because SI is not the main focus on NEFI, they may struggle with being consistent, reliable, and actually implementing their ideas. However, they grow and develop, they often learn to overcome these weaknesses. Okay. I think since now that I know about SI, I could develop it a little bit better, right? Dominant function and core of the external world. Holy jeez. Okay, this is like a short story about it. Okay. Love thinking of new ideas and considering all possibilities given the situation. They learn about the world through observation and experimentation. According to Dario Nando, PhD. Interesting. They are masters of contextual thinking. Interesting. I gotta look that up. ENTP, intuition. Oh, is that just basically any is Transcontextual thinking. All right. Should put that in my diary. All right, this means that they can easily think about things across contexts. From this book, Neuroscience of Personality, Study of the Brain. I know that because I know someone who does neuroscience. Regardless of the kind of stimulus that enters the brain, sight, sound, smell, sensation, so forth, the brain responds by rapidly processing that stimulus in multiple regions, including regions seemingly not evoke auditory regions, perhaps some visual memory regions. However, any types. Personally imagining a story about two brothers who must figure dog. Oh, I see. The current topic is key to the NEFI's. Their ideas are usually shared with the world first and then prioritized by FI afterwards. As a result, their ideas can be very abstract and random and may not make sense if they haven't been run through their internal filter yet. According to Nardi, NEFIs are often good at using their imagination, especially to act and mimic others. Alright. I felt a little cold out there. That's alright. Are constantly chasing new shiny ideas and studying fresh topics of interest. They derive satisfaction from learning about a huge variety of topics so they can use the information to fuel their ideas. The more diverse their learning and exploring is, the more likely it is that they can find a unique solution to a problem by pulling from their library of knowledge or understanding. God, no wonder why I'm interested in so much things. Okay, NEFIs naturally come up with new ideas, create hypotheses, explore possibilities. Although their NE side marks them excellent at coming up with new ideas, their SI is their last priority, which means that they can struggle to implement their ideas in a systematic way. Types with strong SI are often able to easily perform tasks. Okay, so people that have SI as their dominant, they're more consistent than I ever will be. It's not uncommon for strong SI types to have routines in their lives by choice. Okay. Any FIs, however, might resist performing these kinds of tasks in any sort of consistent manner. Routine tasks generally bore and irritate them because they don't provide them with good ideas or fodder. There are things that are personally worth the potential frustration and boredom that can come with doing SI tasks. Practicing, there are also certain things that ideally should not be avoided, like showering. They're saying that I can't shower consistently. Oh, come on. There are days where I don't think I need to shower every single day, especially if I know I'm going to be home for the whole day. Then why would you shower? Okay, well, maybe that might be proving their point. Okay, anyway. Wow, the SI dominant type might shower every day at 7 for 20 years. Oh crap, I don't even set a time when I shower. I just either do it at night or in the morning. Annies might end up showering twice in a single day, avoiding showering for the next two. Although NEFIs primarily value competence over mastery, they aren't incapable of becoming experts. They are great at adapting to their present circumstances and generally feel comfortable not really knowing what their life would look like 10 years from the present day. They often fall into mastery, though, various intellectual pursuits and adaptations, rather than mapping out a path from childhood to achieve a specific expert status. There are times when they have multiple interests they are trying to feed at once. They generally enjoy having a lot of variety available to them, especially if they have the ability to switch between interests at their whim. But this can easily get out of hand if there are many plates being spun and no reliable system to make sure things actually get accomplished. If the goal is simply to try things out and learn, it might be acceptable, but this involves responsibility to others, like completing a project for work. While variety is good for them, they become more distracted than productive. Oh man, okay. You might find it useful to surround themselves with people who can take over some of the less interesting or more menial tasks and their ideas usually flow best when they have someone to bounce ideas off of. The nature of NE and other external functions, they need interaction with the world to function optimal. It's weird because I already do this, but I'm trying to understand more about this. This is a double-edged sword, as the outside world could also be highly distracting. Yeah. I mean, I could definitely think of distractions on the outside world, like food and fun, basically. Because of this, they tend to need alternated stages of input and output. Okay. Input can come from almost anywhere. It may come from in the form of observation, conversations with weird and fascinating humans. How much alone time an NEFI needs to have can be delicate balance. Ultimately, they are less likely to feel fulfilled and be their best self. They spend too much time isolated from others. I shouldn't spend too much time alone. Otherwise, I'll feel unfulfilled. It's not always easy for them to find the right people to share their ideas with. They can be extremely abstract and often seem to spring up from nothing to outside observers, so it's not always easy for other people to comprehend what they're saying. They also tend to be impatient to get started on their ideas immediately after conceiving them. Might be disappointed when others don't immediately jump to help them implement it. I think that makes a lot of sense to me. They like their autonomy, although they like working with other people. They despise being micromanaged by someone they don't respect and trust. They usually prefer to take on a challenge their own way without the steps being predefined for them. And any FI's outside the box thinking can lead to what others may see as disruptive behavior. If someone tries to make them do something one way, they'll look for a different way. And I can relate. Okay, this usually is an unintentional rebellion. They look for new ways to do things because it's more exciting than following conventional routes. Their other functions all serve their drive to find new solutions to problems. They thrive in chaotic environments as they find them fun. It gives their NE-driven mind more interesting input to play with or ideas. It also gives them more information to look for patterns. The second function and the core of the eternal. Is there a third function? And oh my goodness. Okay, supporting role. TE is a process that allows them to take in information and make quick decisions based on the most effective solution and put that solution into play right away. Because of their awareness of the external world and creative thinking, they could pull out their troubleshooting skills when necessary and get a job done effectively. Because this side of them makes them valuable, they may have trouble getting started with new hobbies, career paths, or big life changes. Although they know it's not really possible, they often feel that they should be masters of whatever they try when they do it the first time. It does kind of make sense to me. While they prefer to take their time on decision making, it isn't always possible or practical. In these situations, it's useful for TE, or to have TE, that they can make quick, in the moment decision because they are able to rely on their FI internal compass in the background to let them know when something feels off. They feel comfortable with their decision even if they can't articulate a solid reason for it at the time. As long as it passes their gut check, for example. If they have the sense that someone they see walking down the street could be harmful to them in some way, they don't have time to untangle why they have that feeling. They just know they don't feel safe next to this person. Best solution is to cross the street and take a detour. That makes sense. Okay. I actually understand that very well. It's often the protector function of the NEFI. Okay. When used in a healthy way, if one of their values comes under attack, they can rely on a direct, matter-of-fact TE communication style to defend it. When they feel so strongly about a subject, they know they must take action on it. They tap into this part of themselves that is powerful and commanding to take a stand for what they believe is right. T can also be the part of them that tells them to just pick something and stick with it, at least for a short period of time. It's part of them that pushes them to come to a conclusion, be decisive. I'm starting to understand, basically. In general, NEFIs dislike being harsh and judgmental. They aim to maintain peace and harmony as much as possible. Try to coach people from a place of understanding. They might find themselves jumping into critique mode because their TE sees something that could be improved. or sees how something could be improved. Alright. Although they might find themselves being overly critical without meaning to be, they are likely to regret it if they come across in another way they didn't feel reflects their true character. Okay, a lot of sense so far. ENFPs best use their TE when there's already a system in place, as it is easiest for them to use a simple version of TE. Okay, critiquing and refining. So that's how I use TE. Starting from scratch, they will have lots of ideas, but the act of putting systems and structures. Okay, wait, that says and. That's a typo. Whatever. Structures of efficiency into place is harder for them. This makes me wonder what dominant TE people do. Is the more dominant version like better critiquing and refining? Hold on. Let me T. TJ, ESTJ, TESI. Oh god, that must be pretty strong then. TNI. Well, that would be interesting. How does NI differ from NE? Let's get back to the last function. SI is all about the real world. Need to enunciate better. Five senses: seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, and smelling. Okay, I'm sorry. Wait. Okay, experiences affect NEFI. They value their own experiences very highly, and typically have a good memory or catalog of details about their experiences that they may deem important, stored away, while the external world is a constantly shifting realm of never-ending possibility. Their internal world is more solid and set in stone. Oh, they generally have an organized library of information and values that they can pull from at a moment's notice. However, because SI is their last function, the level to which their mind is organized might be fairly limited compared to someone with SI first. So it's basically saying that I am disorganized. NEFIs tend to be very nostalgic and sentimental about things that hold deep meaning for them. Perhaps they like having a certain kind of cake on their birthday every year. Oh man, that just reminded me of my favorite birthday cake attached to certain objects that means something to them. Okay, NEs value vastly different traditions or rituals from most people and demonstrate them in less obvious ways. Because of their internal world is more solid feeling, a lot of their basic values have been cited fairly early on, and they fall back on these till new experiences, ideas, or realizations cause them to reevaluate certain values. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I could redefine my value. Okay, yeah, that makes sense to me now that I thought about it a little bit more. They typically consider themselves to be pretty open-minded. However, when faced with a new principle that they have no experience with, they might need a lot of time to themselves to evaluate their stance on the subject. Even if they haven't figured it out 100%, they feel better knowing that they have reached some level of understanding than themselves. NEFIs can have a hard time dealing with a ton last minute details or implementing their ideas. Fun generating ideas and carrying them out. When it comes to productivity, they try to implement everything themselves. They may feel disappointed how little they do compared to the number of ideas they have. It can also be easy for them to forget to have a specific end goal for their lives. Okay. They often have a wide range of things they can do, but it could be hard to nail down and commit to accomplishing one thing in particular. When SI is not well developed, they may have a lot of trouble deciding what it's worth to commit to anything long term. Oh crap, any side loves it when they keep all their options open. They hate to feel restricted. Once SI has been developed more, they can usually see certain circumstances it's beneficial or even necessary to make a long-term commitment in order for them to get what they want. A way can stimulate more creativity than having. I'm not sure about this sentence. Kind of just makes me want to test it. If anything, it could stimulate more creativity. Felt like I just had a minor paradigm shift. Maybe. I don't know. I'll see how I feel about it later. So they tend to prefer getting involved in things they can do really well in one go, rather than having to constantly come back and be nitpicky about fixing little pieces that don't really improve that overall state of things. They may also resort to wearing the same outfit or eating the same food over and over again. They can rely on a minimal amount of SI. This lets them revert to a routine that has been internalized, as opposed to having to make decisions about a huge number of details on a daily basis. Can also be comforting for them to go with what's familiar and nostalgic in these situations. It's common for NEFIs to get so absorbed by something fascinating that rest or nutrition is unintentionally forgotten because they've temporarily lost awareness regarding their physical needs. This absorption can lead to bumping into things, losing things, even things that might literally be in their pocket. I mean, this made me remember something when I was younger. Because of a general forgetfulness regarding the presence of the physical world. Okay, somebody described opening 10s or even 100 tabs. I mean, right now I only have this much. We don't need to talk about my other website browsers. Okay, throwing away because they think they might use it later. Huh, okay, in the past I have done it, now I don't really do this. I guess it depends on what the thing is. I have to think about that a little bit more. Okay, so having a hard time throwing things away. NEFIs generally don't do well with a lot of detail. They prefer to look at the big picture connections rather than single details. Yeah, this could cause them to forget or easily distracted. Okay, and what they're doing in the middle of the task if they go too far off the main path. Okay, I would agree with that. Yeah, I'm pretty certain. I think I kind of am ENFP then. Once SI becomes more developed, more productive, what they've done in a day, they can take an idea and immediately get to work on it. They can also begin to find ways to relax through SI tasks while doing dishes or cooking. Predictability. Okay, this is actually basically good advice for me, because I think my SI must be undeveloped. It also assists them in realistically seeing the steps necessary to accomplish their ideas. I think I now understand a lot more about my ENFP personality type. If anything, it just makes me want to learn more about every single one of these. Alright, well, that's all I have for now.